Greetings metalheads and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and today I'm back with another new release review. One of, if not the most highly anticipated metal albums of 2024. It's been in the pipeline for a long time, but the mighty Judas Priest have returned with their most recent effort, 19 albums in. This is album number 19. The mighty Invincible Shield. This album, well, it's a masterpiece. I think, to just summarize it in one word, masterpiece. It's a bloody brilliant album. Really loving this one. I've been listening to it a lot over the last couple of weeks. And I have to say, start to finish, this is a flawless album. Of course, we had a particularly brilliant and tough act to follow with the previous album, album number 18, The Mighty Firepower, which was very well received. That was a serious sort of fan favourite for a long time, and I'm still hearing it and reading it. A lot of people are praising that album as being something of a highlight in the Priest catalogue. Before that, we had the mighty return to form, Redeemer of Souls, which is an absolute stunner as well. I personally absolutely love that album, and again, it's very highly regarded by fans. A lot of praise and a lot of love for that album. But 19 albums in, Priest is still going strong. The mighty Priest. This is 50 years after the first album, which is a long time, a long way that they've come since Rock-a-Roller, and they sound unrecognisable now, other than maybe Rob's vocals. So the lineup is strong here. Of course, we've got the mighty Rob Halford on vocals. On record, we've got Glenn Tipton, mighty Glenn on guitars. We've also got Richie Faulkner, the younger component of this guitar duo. Then we've got Ian Hill on bass, and we've got Scott Travis on drums. So the lineup has been pretty consistent over the last few albums. Well, Scott's been in the bands for yonks, so has Ian, of course, but they all are on top form here. Glenn obviously has his own sort of health issues, so he's not able to participate in the live shows really, although I say that, I did actually get to attend the Birmingham Resorts World show the other day, which was absolutely freaking fantastic, and it was awesome that Glenn was able to come on stage for the final two tracks and, you know, kind of be a part of that, and that was very humbling. So on studio, of course, we have got Glenn contributing, and what a bloody great album it is. This is a good combination of modern heavy metal. You know, Priest are moving with the times. Things are a little bit faster and maybe a little bit heavier than they were back in their maybe most active period, where we seem to have loads of albums in quite rapid succession. Maybe a little bit faster and heavier than that, but they are still bearing their signature Judas Priest sound and style. As soon as you hear Rob's vocals cutting in and those galloping dual guitars, speedy riffs, you know it's Judas frickin' Priest. So the album itself is just under an hour long. Consists of 11 tracks on this sort of standard album format. You can pick up deluxe digibook forms. Obviously, you can get it on vinyl, cassette, but I did just go for the standard one here, as it was the most reasonably priced. But 11 tracks, not a weak moment on this album. Not for a second. The whole album sounds absolutely fantastic, as it is produced by the legendary and also live guitarist for Judas Priest, the legendary Andy Sneap. So produced, engineered, and mixed by Andy Sneap. Hope you can see there. And it's also a notable contribution, co-produced by Tom Allom, the legendary producer. on Sons of Thunder and Giants in the Sky, which is very cool indeed. So the whole thing sounds glorious, and he's done a fantastic job there. I think glorious is a pretty fitting word to describe this album, because it is bloody amazing. We kick off with the, I believe it was the lead single actually, Panic Attack, which also opened up the live set, and it is a great track. It's obviously, you know, there's a bit of a social awareness there, an awareness of the times and current circumstances in society, but a great track, a really heavy metal number, you know, kind of bears that NWOBHM traditional heavy metal sound and style there, but a great one, a proper headbanger, and Rob's vocals coming in crisp and clear. He still sounds fantastic, considering the guy's 72, I believe. He sounds fantastic. He does sound a little bit different to what he did in the 80s, 90s, whatever, in the 70s. Is that a surprise? No, of course not. He does sound different, but he still sounds like Rob Halford. So, Panic Attack, brilliant one. Then we've got The Serpent and the King, which to me, that sounds like a very traditional Judas Priest track. That could, obviously, sounds so much more crisp and polished. Yeah, but that easily could have been lifted from, shall we say, like Stained Class or Killing Machine, perhaps. A great number, absolutely love it. We've got the title track, Invincible Shield. Slightly longer song, about 6 minutes plus, I think. Great. It's a real uplifting headbanger of a track. It's very empowering. Priest have always been quite an empowering band, certainly in their lyrics and the kind of, I don't know, it's just the sound, the music itself. It energizes, gives you that metal power. And Invincible Shield is a good, energetic track. You know, it's got that kind of spirit of the metal gods to it. Absolutely love it. Then we've got Devil in Disguise, which is a good sort of rocking heavy metal number. A real decent track there. Gates of Hell is fantastic. Then we've got the slightly more, I'm not going to say ballad track, but a slower number in Crown of Horns, which did feature in the live set, and it sounded fantastic. Soaring vocals from Rob there. Beautiful musicianship. I just absolutely love that song. It's a real stop and pause and pay devoted attention, dedicated attention to that track. It's a real stunning piece. Slightly slower, not as heavy, but a real album standout moment. As God Is My Witness, a good heavy number there. Little bit of a slower pace again, but it is a heavy headbanging rocking number. Trial by Fire, which is brilliant. Escape from Reality is an interesting one because it's got a little bit of a Sabbath-esque kind of vibe to it, a little bit of a Sabbath style there. But what is really interesting is, and I don't know if it's just me, I'm sure other people will have picked it up, but there's a section midway through the song where Rob sounds more like Ozzy than Ozzy sounds like Ozzy. And it's a bit strange because, I mean, yeah, both Brummies, both from Birmingham, you know, similar style of music, I suppose. Of course, there's been a long connection of Halford and Priest and Black Sabbath. Yep. But I'm hearing that, and I don't know if it's just me. I'm sure it's not, but there is a little bit of an Ozzy vocal. Maybe it's a nod. Maybe it's a nod to Ozzy. I don't know. But it's great. Then we've got Sons of Thunder, which is a shorter track, heavier. It's got a bit of a Saxon, faster paced, heavy metal, straight for the jugular style sound there. But the album closes with one of, if not the best tracks on the album, Giants in the Sky, which is a soaring, uplifting, huge, anthemic metal number. Sounds bloody brilliant. I absolutely love that song. It's so catchy. And I think that's one thing that you notice about this whole album. Every track has got a great sing-along chorus. It's so catchy. The whole thing is so memorable. Each track is very distinguishable from the next or from the one before. It's very, let's say it's created well and it's well structured. It's a really well written album. Every track is distinguishable, as I say. Every track has its own brilliance to it. Every single one of these tracks could easily have been a lead single. You know, it's really kind of got that brilliance to it. Start to finish, classic Priest, but it's heavy and it sounds fresh. To be honest, I think Priest sound just as good here as they ever have. And I'm a big fan of classic Priest. I have the full discography, full catalogue of Priest here, live albums and all. Absolutely worship albums like Stained Class, Killer Machine. Again, love the kind of the middle period where we've got albums like Defenders of the Faith, Magnificent. Yeah, not as big a fan of Turbo or Ram It Down. They're not dreadful albums. I feel like they get a lot of unnecessary criticism. But again, love Nostradamus. Love Angel of Retribution. But this album, this is, if it's not better than the rest, then it's certainly as good as any other career highlight and standout moment for Priest. They sound on the finest form, certainly in the finest form with the last three albums. They've just been on an absolute winning streak. Fantastic start to finish. Personal favourite moments for me, I would say, that's a really tough one as well, actually, because if you just try to pick 3 out of these 11 brilliant tracks, that's a real struggle. But I'd obviously go with Giants in the Sky. I'd probably say As God Is My Witness is a real standout for me. And I really do like Panic Attack, the opening track there. Fantastic start to finish. Absolutely magnificent. Rob and company in the best condition and form that I've heard in a while anyway. What are your thoughts on Invincible Shield? Of course, this is a big album. This has been getting a lot of attention. You know, you just go on YouTube and scroll down your home screen. You're probably going to see 100 other Invincible Shield reviews cropping up. This album absolutely deserves all the love and all the praise that it gets. We've had some other big or big-ish albums coming out recently. We've had Bruce Dickinson with his new album, The Mandrake Project. We've got various other quite big albums, I guess, coming out this year. Or certainly in relative terms, they're big anyway. But we've got a few other contenders out there. But this album, this is fantastic. There's no chance of Invincible Shield being overshadowed. And I should be very surprised if this doesn't rank number 1 or number 2 in a lot of albums of the year lists towards the end of this year, because it is an absolute masterpiece. So my friends, Invincible Shield, this is easily a 9 out of 10 album for me. I certainly can't fault it. I'm always very reluctant to say it's a 10 out of 10, because what is a 10 out of 10? What does that sound like? I can't even, I'm not even going to go there. But this is easily a 9 out of 10 album for me. It's flawless start to finish. But what are your thoughts and opinions on Invincible Shield? What are your thoughts on Judas Priest in 2024? Did you see them live? Interested to hear thoughts and opinions of others as always. But thank you very much for watching, my friends. Check out the album if you haven't already and let me know what you think. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations. Of course, please do feel free to like, subscribe, share. It's all very, very much appreciated, my friends. Thank you for the continued support. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, stay heavy.